Look at the sheer mass of this war machine. The Mughal military was a terrifying juggernaut of armored elephants, heavy cannons, and endless infantry. Emperor Akbar was methodically swallowing the Indian subcontinent, absorbing or crushing any kingdom in his path. But deep in the rugged Aravalli Mountains, the kingdom of Mewar refused to surrender their autonomy. They were led by Maharana Pratap. At over 7 feet tall, he was a giant of a warrior king, built for heavy combat. He carried over 208 kilograms of gear onto the battlefield, including this heavy chainmail armor and an 80-kilogram spear. When diplomacy failed, Akbar unleashed his full force, 80,000 imperial soldiers, marching against Pratap's 20,000. Meeting an army 4 times your size in an open field would result in total annihilation. Surviving an invasion of this scale meant Pratap had to change the logic of the encounter. He needed to find a way to make the empire's massive numbers irrelevant. Pratap chose to fight here, Haldighati. The soil is the color of yellow turmeric, and more importantly, the passage is incredibly narrow. This map shows the mechanism of a choke point. As a massive block of imperial units forces its way into a tiny gap, the rear ranks become useless. They physically cannot engage the enemy. The rugged, vertical terrain also permanently lodged the empire's heavy cannons at the entrance of the pass, removing their main technological advantage without a single Rajput soldier having to strike a blow. Waiting inside that narrow gap was Pratap's coalition. His vanguard was directly commanded by a fierce Muslim general named Hakim Khan Suri. And looking down from these sheer vertical ridges were native Bhil warriors, holding the high ground and ready to rain poisoned arrows directly onto the bottlenecked invaders below. A Mughal historian present at the scene documented the horrific efficiency of the trap, writing that soldiers were slaughtered like sheep in the claustrophobic pass. By utilizing the mountain's natural constraints, Pratap managed to equalize the front lines, forcing the empire to fight only a few men at a time, regardless of their total strength. Down on the ground, the combat was brutal. Pratap unleashed his heaviest weapon, a war elephant named Ramprasad, who tore through the imperial lines in a destructive rampage. The loyalty of the Mewar forces extended to their animals. Even after Ramprasad was finally captured, the elephant refused to consume enemy rations, starving himself to death over 18 days. As the imperial commander moved forward to manage the chaos at the bottleneck, he left himself exposed. Pratap seized the moment, leading a direct cavalry charge aimed at the general himself. Pratap's horse, Chetak, pushed through the enemy lines and physically planted his front hooves directly onto the giant elephant's forehead. From that height, Pratap hurled his spear. The weapon narrowly missed the general, killing the elephant driver instead. In the immediate chaos of the counterattack, a poisoned sword attached to the elephant's trunk cleanly sliced through one of Chetak's hind legs. With a single injury to his mount, Pratap's offensive strategy collapsed, plunging the king into a desperate fight for survival. The assassination strike had failed. Pratap was now deeply isolated, surrounded by thousands of imperial troops closing in on his position. Seeing the danger, a noble warrior seized Pratap's royal crown, placed it on his own head, and charged directly into the massive wall of enemy soldiers, sacrificing his life to draw the Mughal army away. This diagram shows the gap Pratap had to cross to escape, a 22-foot-wide mountain stream. It is a distance nearly impossible for a healthy warhorse, let alone a bleeding animal running on 3 legs. Gathering his final breath, the dying Chetak made a miraculous leap over the water, collapsing safely on the other side and dying in his master's arms. The massive Mughal army technically held the battlefield, but they failed their primary objective. They neither captured the king nor broke the spirit of Mewar. This survival proved the effectiveness of the terrain over traditional warfare. Pratap spent the rest of his life in these mountains, reclaiming his kingdom through a decade of hit-and-run raids on imperial camps. Haldighati stands as a testament that even overwhelming numbers and technology can be broken by the masterful use of terrain and unyielding loyalty.